So we're going to close it out here. I have the game show that I want to play. It's called Ravens, Steelers, Browns, or Bengals. All right? And you guys in the chat are going to have to play this game because unfortunately, I could not bring anybody on to join me tonight. So nobody is going to be able to participate. But you guys in the chat are going to help me out here. And we'll see if you can get it. And if you're listening to the podcast, if you're rewatching the replay, play this game at home, all right? Don't cheat. No cheating. Don't look this up. This is a game show. This is like Jeopardy, right? This is like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? And be honest with yourself. Do you get all 5 questions right? All right? Put your scores down below in the chat. Once we're done, we're only going to have 5 questions here, and this is going to be the last segment of the podcast, and we're going to go ahead and close it out. All right? So we got 5 questions. The 4 answers that you got are Ravens, Steelers, Browns, or Bengals. All right? Those are your options. So the very first question that we got, this is question number 1. All right? I'm going to give you guys some time. What was the last team to sweep the entire AFC North, the entire division? The last time that a team swept the entire division, which team was the one to sweep the entire division? I'm going to give you guys some time in the chat. Post your answers, and let's see who gets it right. Again, your options for answers are between the Ravens, the Steelers, the Browns, and the Bengals. So let's see who gets it right. All right? Let's see what everybody has to say. I see some people saying Steelers. I see some people saying Ravens. Okay? And again, put it in the chat, man. I want to see your answers. Put your comments. People are saying Steelers. Okay? And we're going to go ahead and give you the answer here in 3, 2, 1. And yes, it is the Steelers. The Steelers were the ones that actually were the last time that they swept the entire division. It was in 2017. So it looks like my guy John Gertz, I apologize if I mispronounced your name, you're the first one that I saw in the chat to get that one right. So congratulations, John. You get the first point for that one. Did you guys get it right? Let me know. It was the Steelers in 2017. All right. So here's the next one. Here's the next one. This one is a little bit tougher. I don't know if you guys are going to get this one. The last team to get a player ejected from a game. This was obviously in 2020, from the 2020 season. What was the team that got the last team to get a player ejected in a game? Again, your options are the Ravens, the Steelers, the Browns, or the Bengals. Who in 2020 last got a player ejected from a game? Let's see what you guys have to say here. Put your answers in the chat. I want to see it in the comments if you're watching the replay. I see people saying Browns. Well, I don't know, man. It's, again, your options, Ravens, Steelers, Browns, or Bengals. I see somebody said the Steelers. This one's a tough one, man. This one is a tough one. It's not easy, right? It's definitely one that you got to look up if you don't know it. But don't look it up because that's cheating. That's cheating. And I see people saying the Ravens. See people saying the Steelers. All right, we're going to give you the answer here. It is the Bengals. That's right, it's the Bengals. The last player to get ejected from an AFC North team was with the Bengals. It was safety Sean Williams. He got ejected in Week 13 versus the Miami Dolphins for fighting. And you know what's even funnier is that wide receiver Tyler Boyd also got ejected in that game for the exact same reason. So the Bengals continue to be the dirty Bungles, right? But funny enough, the team before the Bengals that got a player ejected was your Baltimore Ravens. That's right. It was Matt Judon. I saw someone mention Judon. Yeah, Aaron Butler. You brought up Matt Judon. That's right. But unfortunately, the Bengals actually got it after Matt Judon because Matt Judon got ejected in Week 8 against the Steelers for contacting an official. You guys remember that one? Where he barely tapped a ref and he got ejected? So, yeah. But you were close. But it looks like, let me see who got it first. Rory Raven Smith was the first one I saw that put Bengals for that question. So congrats to you, man. You get the point there. All right. So next question. Question number 3. Let me know if you guys are 2 for 2 so far. I want to see how you guys are doing. Question number 3. Which team has had the most starting quarterbacks since the 2015 season? That's right. Since the 2015 season, which team has had the most starting quarterbacks since that season? Some people might think this is an easy question. Some people might think this is a trick question. I don't know. That's what it's all about, you know? Because the answer is almost too obvious, right? Or is it, right? So that's something you got to think about. That's something you got to think about. You never know. So I see people saying Browns. I see people saying Bengals. But look at y'all, man. Y'all are all saying Browns. Pretty much everybody is saying the Browns. And you know what? You're right, man. It is the Browns. You know, I did think that was an easy question, but I thought maybe it was too obvious, right? I thought maybe it might have been too obvious, but it is the Browns. The Browns was the team that has had the most starting quarterbacks since 2015. They have had 9 starting quarterbacks since the 2015 season. And I even have the quarterbacks listed here, so let's read it off. Baker Mayfield, Tyrod Taylor, Deshaun Kaiser. You guys remember Deshaun Kaiser? We love Deshaun Kaiser. Kevin Hogan, RG3. That's right. I don't know if you guys remember when RG3 started for the Browns for a little bit. Josh McCown, Cody Kessler, Austin Davis, and Johnny Manziel. How about that? Shout out to the Browns for having the most starting quarterbacks in the division since 2015. All right? But next, following up them, is actually a tie. And this one might surprise some of you. It's a tie between the Bengals and the Ravens. Both the Bengals and the Ravens have had 6 starting quarterbacks since the 2015 season. Yeah, I know it sounds kind of crazy, but let's break down the Ravens for those that don't believe me, right? And maybe you guys don't remember this, but look, Lamar Jackson, RG3, Joe Flacco, right? Those seem to be the obvious ones, but see if you guys remember these names. Ryan Mallett. You guys remember Ryan Mallett? Let's not forget that Ryan Mallett was able to help us beat the Steelers, who were playoff bound. And not only did he beat the Steelers that year when he started, but we also swept the Steelers, and we went 5-11. So 2 of our 5 wins were sweeping the Steelers. I just love to see that. I just wanted to bring it up, you know? Jimmy Clausen and Matt Schaub. You guys remember that year? It was 2015 where Flacco went down, and the whole team went down, right? So that was that year. Yes, the Ravens have had 6 starting quarterbacks since 2015. As for the Bengals, Brandon Allen, Ryan Finley, Joe Burrow, Andy Dalton, Jeff Driscoll, and A.J. McCarron, right? Sounds about right. And the Steelers have actually only had 5 starting quarterbacks since 2015. It's Large Benjamin, Mason Rudolph, Duck Hodges, Landry Jones, and Michael Vick. That's right, Michael Vick started for the Steelers. I don't know if you guys remember that one. So, but yeah, I saw everybody pick the Browns, so congrats to you guys. You guys got it. All right, so that's 3 questions down. Let me know how you guys are doing, man. I want to see how you guys are doing. 1 for 3, okay? All right, fair enough. So we got 2 questions left. Let's see if anybody can get it. Has anybody gotten them all right? That's what I want to know. So, okay, question number 4. So we got 2 questions left. The last NFL MVP between the 4 teams was, of course, Baltimore Ravens' Lamar Jackson in 2019, right? We all know that. But which team had the last MVP before that? Again, your options are Ravens, Steelers, Browns, or Bengals. So this one is tough. And again, don't look it up. Do not look it up. This one is a tough question, man. We already know Lamar Jackson was MVP, but which team in the division had an MVP before Lamar? Which was the last team to have an MVP? So this is tough. You got to go back quite a few years, man. So everybody's saying Steelers. I see somebody say Bengals. This is not an easy question, man. This is not an easy question. Steelers. I see a lot of people saying Steelers. Okay, fair enough. John is the lone person to say the Bengals. So, let me reveal the answer to you guys. It is, in fact, the Bengals. That's right. Believe it or not, the Bengals were the team to have the last MVP before Lamar Jackson. That's right. They had Boomer Esiason in 1988. And what's even crazier is that they also had the MVP before that in 1981 with Ken Anderson, right? So before that was the Browns with Brian Sipe in 1980. And even further back in 1978 was the Steelers with Terry Bradshaw, right? So look at the Steelers all the way back. Haven't had an MVP since the 1970s, man. And same thing for the Browns and the Bengals. That must suck. Can you imagine not having an MVP quarterback in 2021? I just can't picture it. I can't picture it whatsoever. So, all right, let me see. So I believe that John Gertz, again, I'm sorry for mispronouncing your name, was the first one I saw to say Bengals. So good on you, man. Good job. All right, so we got one final question. Let me know how you guys are doing. This is a tough quiz. It's not easy. It's not easy. All right, so this one's my favorite. I love this question. This was totally my brainchild, all right? So, the Browns had an embarrassing loss against the New York Jets in Week 16 last season. I just want to let that sit for a little bit. Just in case any Browns fans are listening to this, I want to make sure that they remember that game. The Browns lost to the Jets in Week 16 last year. Okay, anyway. So, what was the team that last lost to the Jets before that? So this one's a little bit tough. This one is pretty damn tough. But the Browns lost to the Jets this past season in 2020. But what was the AFC North team between the Ravens, Steelers, and, well, I guess in this case it's the Bengals only, since I guess the Browns aren't really an option. Or maybe they are. You never know. Between those four teams in the AFC North, what was the last team to lose to the New York Jets before the Browns did it last year in Week 16? All right, so we got Raven Ron says Steelers. We got more people saying, we got Terrence saying Ravens. Okay. Joey Boss Sports, dude, thanks for joining, my man. I appreciate that. Rory, you're 3-1 on these. That's pretty good, man. That's pretty good. Don C is 1 for 4. Yeah, these are not easy questions, man. They are not. Jonathan Washington says Bengals, I think. Okay. I see John Gertz, the one in the lead, I believe, saying Bengals as well. The answer is the Steelers. Let's give it up for the Steelers, losing to the New York Jets, baby, in 2019. And let's not think that the Jets were a good team back then, because they weren't. So shout out to the Steelers for losing to the Jets in 2019. It is the Steelers is the correct answer. Let me see. I believe it was Rory Raven Smith who was the first one to say the Steelers. Or was it Raven Ron? It might have been Raven Ron. My bad. It's one of you guys. Regardless, I'll give congratulations. I'll give you kudos to both of you. But, and then before that, funny enough, the Ravens were the team that last lost to the Jets before the Steelers. We lost in 2016. You remember that abomination of a game that the Ravens just sucked that day, bro? It was still when Flacco was on the team, obviously, and we lost to the Jets. Embarrassing. And the Jets were not a good team back then either. That was a crazy game. And then the Bengals, and this was kind of unbelievable, but apparently they last lost to the New York Jets in 2010. Yeah. I mean, unless my research is wrong, but that's what I came up with.